This is what looks like a meeting between a human and an alien. The setting is dimly lit, with an eerie atmosphere. The alien figure is tall and thin, with pale, almost translucent skin. Its oversized head and huge dark eyes are exactly how aliens are often described in stories. Sitting across from it is an elderly man, calm and focused, as if they are having a deep conversation. It is hard to tell if this photo is real, staged, or part of a movie. But it definitely makes you wonder, what if aliens really have visited Earth? Are they observing us, or maybe even trying to communicate? This picture feels like it belongs in a collection of alien photos from history that prove they are real, although skeptics would say otherwise. But let's think for a second. Why do so many historical photos and stories describe aliens in the same way? From ancient cave drawings to modern sightings, the consistency is puzzling. Could it all just be imagination? Or does it point to something more? What's your take on this? Do you think this photo is a hoax? Or could it be a rare glimpse into something extraordinary? If aliens were real, what would you ask them in a conversation like this? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Now, just when you think things couldn't get more mysterious, another encounter surfaced, not in the skies, but on the ground. Rubber doll or real extraterrestrial? Something strange stirred the internet a few years back, leading to heated arguments and wild theories. It wasn't just another blurry photo or shadowy light in the sky. No, this was different. It was a video of what some claimed was proof of life from another world. And it wasn't just the video that caught everyone's attention, it was the supposed alien in it. The being, about 2 feet tall, looked lifelike to some. Its right leg appeared to be damaged or missing. The story went that 2 men in Russia found it in a UFO hotspot, a place where strange sightings were said to happen often. That detail alone was enough to send the internet buzzing. The video spread like wildfire. Within a week, over 1 million people had watched it. It wasn't just the visuals that kept people glued to their screens. The caption on the video added fuel to the fire. It read, "Your government is lying to you about UFO and alien visitation." Those words sent chills down spines and had people wondering, what if it's true? What if we are not being told everything? But of course, not everyone was convinced. In fact, the internet split into 2 groups almost immediately. On one side were the believers. They felt the video was undeniable proof of extraterrestrial life, maybe even the key to unraveling the mystery of UFO sightings that had baffled people for decades. On the other side, skeptics picked apart every detail. They called the alien a fake, saying it looked more like a rubber doll than a real being. They questioned why there wasn't a UFO nearby if this truly was a creature from another planet. The alien's oddly posed position also raised eyebrows. To many, it seemed staged, like something you would expect in a prank video rather than a groundbreaking discovery. Still, the believers didn't back down. To them, the skepticism only added to the mystery. After all, they argued, if the video were fake, why would anyone go to such lengths to make it look so real? And why did it surface in a place already known for strange activity? Well, whether it was a clever prank or genuine evidence of alien life, it had done one thing for sure. It got people talking. This wasn't the first time people had been divided over UFOs and aliens. And as history shows, it wouldn't be the last. Sometimes, all it takes is a single image or a moment caught on camera to change everything. A few decades before the video of the aliens surfaced, something else happened, which some say changed how we look at UFOs forever. Harold Trudel's UFO photos. Not all UFO sightings are just wild stories or blurry videos. Sometimes someone is ready, determined to capture proof no matter what. That is exactly what Harold Trudel set out to do one June afternoon in 1967. You see, Trudel had seen strange things in the sky before, and he wanted more than just memories. He wanted evidence. And so with a camera in hand, Trudel headed to West Wrentham Road, just outside East Woonsocket, Rhode Island. He chose the spot carefully, thinking it was the perfect place to catch something in action. It was midday, the kind of time when everything feels calm, almost too ordinary. Trudel sat quietly, watching the sky. Then, after a few minutes, it happened. Out of the clouds, a strange object appeared. It didn't zip past or vanish in a blink. Instead, it hovered right above a power line nearby. Trudel couldn't believe it, but he didn't waste a second. Slowly, carefully, he snapped photo after photo. The cameras back then weren't fast, so each picture required patience. By the time it was over, he had 7 photos of the craft. The images showed something unusual, a flying object that didn't look like anything most people had ever seen before. Trudel's pictures quickly went viral. Some thought they were undeniable proof of something out of this world. Others dismissed them as tricks or fakes. But whether people believed it or not, the photos stirred up a lot of curiosity. That moment would become one of the most talked about UFO sightings of its time. And it wasn't the only encounter leaving people wondering. Just a few years earlier, a quiet stretch of road in New Mexico would become the site of another strange and unforgettable event. Ella Fortune's mysterious photo. New Mexico has long been the stage for stories that make you question what is really out there. After all, it is hard to ignore a place where unexplained sightings seem to pop up so often. Just 10 years after the Roswell incident made headlines in 1947, something else strange happened in the same state. On October 16, 1957, Ella Louise Fortune, a local nurse, was driving down Highway 54. It was just another day, or so she thought. But as she cruised along, something unusual caught her eye. A bright white disk floated silently in the sky, not far from the Holloman Air Development Center. It wasn't zipping around like a plane or fading out of sight. It just remained suspended in the air, as if it was observing something or someone. Ella carried a camera with her. So she stopped and took a photo of the strange object. For about 15 minutes, the disk stayed in sight before finally disappearing. It left no sound, no trail, and no clear answers. The fact that the sighting happened near an Air Force base led many to believe there was a logical explanation. Maybe it was some kind of secret military experiment. But even after experts from the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization studied the photo, no one could say for sure what it was. They examined every detail, yet the image defied simple explanations. And while Ella's encounter left plenty of room for debate, it wouldn't be the last time the United States found itself in the middle of an unexplainable event. Only a few years later, a police officer in a different part of the country would witness something that left him stunned. Tin-foil alien. The truth can be a dangerous thing to uncover. By 1973, stories about alien encounters had changed. reports shifted from describing humanoid beings to creatures that seemed robotic or mechanical. One such story came from Police Chief Jeff Greenhaw in a small Alabama town, and it turned his life upside down. It all started late one evening when Greenhaw got an urgent phone call. A woman claimed she had seen something unbelievable, aliens landing near town. Though skeptical, Greenhaw took the report seriously. He grabbed his gun and camera, not knowing what he might find. When he arrived at the scene, everything seemed normal. There was no sign of anything strange. Still, Greenhaw decided to keep looking. Driving along a dirt road nearby, he spotted something unusual in his headlights. A figure was walking along the road, but it didn't move like a person. Its steps were jerky and unnatural, almost mechanical. Thinking the person might be hurt, Greenhaw pulled over and called out to them. But as he got closer, he realized this wasn't a regular person at all. The figure wore a shiny metallic bodysuit that reflected light in a way Greenhaw had never seen. It even seemed to glow faintly. The suit covered the being entirely, giving it an otherworldly appearance. Greenhaw asked if it was okay, but the figure didn't answer. It stood there silently, as if watching him. Not knowing what else to do, Greenhaw decided to take photos. As soon as the flash went off, the figure reacted. It turned and ran into the darkness, moving at what Greenhaw later described as inhuman speed. Within moments, it had disappeared, leaving Greenhaw shaken and confused. The photos he took that night were later analyzed by experts. They found no signs of tampering and even discovered faint UFO-like shapes on the negatives that weren't visible in the printed pictures. Greenhaw thought this would prove his story, but instead, it only made things worse for him. Many people in town didn't believe him. Some accused him of making up the story to get attention. To make matters worse, the woman who had called to report the sighting couldn't be found. Greenhaw was fired from his job as police chief. His wife left him, and his home was mysteriously burned to the ground. Some saw these events as mere coincidences, while others believed they were part of a larger cover-up. Despite everything, Greenhaw never backed down from his story. He insisted that what he saw was real, no matter how much ridicule he faced. For him, the encounter wasn't just about seeing something strange. It was proof that there is more to the world than we understand. His experience remains one of the most debated UFO encounters in history. But it was nothing compared to this. The Newtown Lights Mystery. A warm spring evening in Newtown, Connecticut, turned into something unforgettable on May 26, 1987. Randy Etting, a commercial airline pilot, was taking a casual stroll through his neighborhood when something unusual caught his eye. He saw bright orange and red lights moving steadily across the sky. They weren't planes, helicopters, or anything he had seen in his years of flying. He soon grabbed his binoculars and called for his neighbors to come and take a look. The lights moved westward in a silent, yet mesmerizing display. And it wasn't just Etting who noticed. Cars pulled over on Interstate 84 as drivers stopped to watch, stunned by the sight above them. Even the local police were flooded with calls. Over 200 reports came in between 9:30 and 10:15 p.m. from people claiming to have seen the same strange phenomenon. Etting managed to snap a photograph. The picture showed a semicircle of multicolored lights glowing in the night sky. But the story didn't end there. Witnesses began reporting that their cars mysteriously lost power when the lights passed overhead. Engines stalled, headlights dimmed, and even radios went silent. It was as if the lights had disrupted everything electrical. Minutes later, similar reports started pouring in from the nearby town of New Milford. The same strange lights were spotted performing the same silent, unexplainable maneuvers. But then, just as quickly as they had appeared, the lights disappeared, leaving behind a trail of confusion and questions. To this day, no one knows if the lights were part of some secret man-made project or if they came from somewhere beyond our understanding. What's certain is that the events of that night left hundreds of people searching for answers. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.